I made a terrible mistake and now my PC is paying for it. I made a terrible mistake during character creation for the campaign I'm currently in. Now my character is paying for it in a serious way. I gave that man living parents and adult siblings that he deeply cares for. After playing 2 sessions with him now, after playing the previous 3 as his father, both of his parents are missing following an undead invasion of the capital, and his older brother, an officer in the city guard, died in the battle after casting command on my character to run away. Just last session, he found his older sister, a wizard who had been injured during the attack, but she had been wounded and was dying of a magical necrotic infection. She demanded that he kill her with another party member's cursed sword because she thought the after effects would be more interesting than just dying of disease. It's been a rough 24 hours for my guy. Yeah, this is why everyone starts off their character by giving them dead parents. So that way, they're already dead. You can't take them away. They're gone. No seriousness, I don't have any advice for this. This sounds really fun. The person has no complaints about it. They say that they're having fun with this and this is great and that's awesome. Yeah, it's just one of those things where if you have a player who gives you a backstory and a backstory family and backstory things that they care about, you go, okay, thank you for the thing, and then you break it in two and right in front of them and make them clean it up. Because DMs are the most sadistic people on the planet. Am I in the wrong here? So my fiance DMs a game every week for the last few weeks, and I've been attending to watch. For context, I don't like playing the game itself, but I enjoy watching it. And just get to know my fiance's friends and enjoy the experience of watching my fiance's homebrew world. I've gone about 4 to 5 weeks total now, and I've really started to settle in and be comfortable with the group and look forward to going. I even started helping my fiance work on his plans for each week's game. Today we meet at the beginning of the game, and one of the players started complaining that there wasn't enough room at the table and singled me out, saying I shouldn't be at the table if I wasn't playing. Everyone told him there was more than enough room and I wasn't in anyone's way. For context, for the last month I've been going and I've sat in the same place every time. But he insisted that if I didn't leave the table, he would leave. I offered to compromise by just removing my items from the table, snacks, an iPad, and a book, but he just said, fine, I'll just leave. Got up and left. I feel really horrible that he just left the game over this, but I would also feel really horrible if I just had to sit in the corner in the living room alone instead of being at the table with everyone. I'm also deaf, so if I want to participate in conversation, I have to be close up with everyone to see their lips. I feel like if I'm not at the table, then why even go? I need to know if I'm in the wrong here. Am I taking up space I don't deserve? Some players said that there's an old rule a long time ago about non-players not being allowed to sit at the table, but that no one enforces it, and all the players said they didn't have any problem with me being there. My fiance also pointed out that other non-players have sat at the table for several weeks before and it was never a problem until now, me. I just hate feeling like I'm causing drama and problems in the group, but I also don't want to just stop going because I enjoy going so much. I want to fix it, but I don't know how. I feel like both going and not going next week would both have the same bad impact on the situation, since most of the players took my side, but the one who wanted me to leave has been friends with and played with some of these people for decades. Did I do something wrong? Should I not be going to the game each week? I need opinions. First of all, this person, not in the wrong whatsoever. They show up to the game because they like the game and they enjoy the game just as much as everyone else. And even though they're not a player, if they want to be there and they're wanted by everyone else, there's no reason why they shouldn't be there, especially if them sitting at the table is also an accessibility thing because they wouldn't be able to hear the game if they went and sat in a different room or across the room or you know what I mean. I really get the feeling that there is something else going on in the guy's life who was complaining. And I can't say for sure because, I don't know the person. And it's still wrong that if there is something going on and they're taking it out on other people. But hopefully they have a week or two later, they'll have cooled down and realize what they did was stupid. But if they don't, like, even if I had a friend for multiple decades, which I have friends who I've known for over a decade, and they treated my fiance in a way like that, that person would no longer be my friend. And that's just how I am. I know other people might be different, but no, this user has not done anything wrong. And yeah, I'm sorry that happened to them. That really sucks.
Silvery Barbs ruined my campaign.
This title is not exaggerated.
Silvery Barbs ruined my campaign.
I started DMing for a new group not long ago. All seemed very ecstatic to play 5e together after being either new to the game or on break for over a year. Everything was going great. The players all got along, no one wanted to play a rogue, and after a very productive session 0, I felt like this campaign had the potential to go from levels 1 to 20. It wasn't until the 5th session that I realized the error of my ways. The party of 6 had a very strong dynamic in combat, I thought. We had a very durable front line, a few casters in the back, and an artificer mostly doing nothing, but occasionally pulled his own weight when the party needed him most. The party had mostly been cutting through groups of bandits for the local lord. Some party members dropped to single-digit health, but nothing too challenging had come up so far. The first challenge I thought would be the bandit leader. I'd spent weeks practicing his menacing voice in front of the mirror. In my mind, this was going to be a showdown to remember. The bandit leader had a group of 4 bodyguards with him, bandits of a higher caliber than the usual rabble, but nothing as strong as the leader. Before long, initiative was rolled and combat had begun. The bandit leader's turn was up. With his +1 maul, he took a swing at the paladin. I checked my dice. He crit on his attack. They're already shaping up to be a hard fight. So imagine the look of shock on my face when I hear the sorcerer say, "I Silvery Barbs it." I'm familiar with the spell. It's annoying, but part of the game and fair. I roll again. Another crit. I Silvery Barbs it too. The wizard in my party speaks up. The paladin and monk start giggling. I roll my next dice, an 18 to hit. It meets the paladin's AC. I cast Silvery Barbs. The barb with a shit-eating grin says out loud. By this point, the entire party was losing their minds. I'm left in horror as I realize my entire party has been going easy on me. They defeated the bandit leader with ease. All of my time practicing his voice, his motives, all gone due to 9 first-level spell slots across my 3 casters. The easy enough solution, I figured, was to throw enemies that required them to throw saving throws instead of rolling for attacks outright. If they play dirty, so can I. 3 sessions later, the party encountered just that. A spellcaster with a vengeance for the party stealing his potions. He opens the fight by casting Fireball. The radius is just large enough to hit every party member. The bard, the wizard, the sorcerer all look at one another in confusion. They didn't know what to do. They can't cast Silvery Barbs on their own roll. Or can they? The party all rolled their dexterity saving throws. The wizard, the sorcerer, and the monk passed. Before I can tell them how much damage they take, the sorcerer speaks up. I cast Silvery Barbs on the monk. This is the moment everything changed. All of us, excluding the sorcerer, looked in horror at what he just said. I asked if he was sure, and with a smirk he just nods to me. Alright, monk, re-roll your save. He rolls a 1. The wizard looks insulted at this betrayal. I cast Silvery Barbs on the sorcerer. The sorcerer re-rolled his dice and failed the DC 14 saving throw. The bard wanted chaos, so he cast Silvery Barbs on the wizard. The wizard failed his save too. My entire party wasted 3 spell slots on screwing each other over. Since they took the full force of the fireball and rolled HP as they leveled up, all 3 casters and the monk went down in 1 attack. It was just the paladin and artificer left, which left the paladin decided to attack the spellcaster with his longsword. Surprisingly enough, he crit. Unfortunately for him, the spellcaster had Silvery Barbs, and the paladin rolled his second dice. It landed on a 2. He missed his 1 chance at saving the party, and he went down too. The artificer had been rolling bad all session, and I reluctantly rolled the final hit to bring him down. The campaign I had such high hopes for resulted in a TPK in session 8. Silvery Barbs ruined my campaign. I am still in shock as I write this that it ended up this way, but I learned a valuable lesson. I hate Strixhaven. Silvery Barbs. I've been in that exact situation where the DM's big bad guy rolls a critical hit, someone Silvery Barbs rolls another critical hit, and another person Silvery Barbs it. It is an incredibly overpowered spell. Not just the fact that you can force anyone to reroll with just the first level spell slot, but you also give another person advantage. And honestly, I thought this is where the situation was going. I thought what they were doing is they were going to force someone who already failed the save to re-roll and then give the advantage to another person who failed. That's how I assumed they were going to do it. But no, they just decided, let's screw each other over, which, yeah, you can do with Silvery Barbs. I really appreciate the fact that this DM knew how to throw it back as players. Obviously, they threw it back a bit too hard, but as someone who uses Silvery Barbs and understands how overpowered it is, and frankly, if my DM said he's banning Silvery Barbs, as long as I can switch out that spell with something now, like I wouldn't care, because it's just so broken. A lot of Strixhaven stuff, like Vortex Warp, broken spell, level 2, you can just send anybody anywhere you need to go. And yeah, this is, I know a lot of DMs, including myself, don't want to ban different books or ban different spells because it's like, oh, well, it's official, it will allow anything official. But Strixhaven, you have to look at it. Maybe at the very least you limit who Silvery Barbs is limited to, because it feels like it should just be a bard thing. But like wizards can get it and like sorcerers can get it. So yeah, that's what I would do personally. Maybe if you're starting up another game with these people, say, all right, we're doing this again. Max one person can have Silvery Barbs, or maybe only a bard can have Silvery Barbs. Character dies, say your goodbyes. My current party is trapped in a burning building. My character is almost passed out from smoke inhalation, and I have no idea how we're going to rescue the ranger and cleric from the magically trapped and locked basement. Post-session, we joked about who our backup characters are, and I mentioned something from the first game I joined, maybe a year ago now, that had everyone making what the fuck noises. The game in question was a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Strength of Thousands game, hosted by a very experienced DM and advertised for players entirely new to Pathfinder. 2 of the players had played a little D&D 5e, while myself and the other 3 had 0 active TTRPG experience. All was fine, we had a blast, we gelled in and out of game, our characters worked well as a team, and the DM had made things clear and easy for those of us who had played no TTRPGs before. Maybe those early sessions were tweaked to be a bit more forgiving, but the DM seemed to know what he was doing, and gave us a great introduction to the system. But he had a homebrewed rule? Condition? I don't know what to call it. But you had one character to which to play. If that character died, you were done. Possibilities for resurrection would have been slim, and if you were dead, you were done. Removed from the Discord server, deleted from Foundry, game over for you permanently. It never came to anything, as the game folded after I think 5 sessions. Hooray, schedule changes. None of us really thought any of it at the time, but bringing it up the other day, thinking back, I don't know why any of us in that group didn't have the same reaction my current group had. A resounding, what the fuck? Is this sort of thing entirely abnormal? Or has anyone heard or experienced this sort of setup before? Yeah, I've heard of this type of thing before. Normally you'll find it in a West Marches type game, or a game that has an incredibly large group / an incredibly large amount of people who are interested in playing. Now for me, I really don't like that idea of removing players when their character dies, because, well, we don't play D&D really for the characters. You know, the characters are something we come for, but we come to play with each other, really. And by saying, oh, you rolled bad, or you made a bad decision, or you thought it would be thematic for your character to die in a moment, now you aren't allowed to play with this group anymore. You're no longer allowed to be friends with us. I find that idea very strange. I get why people do it. You want to raise the stakes, make death feel real and permanent and powerful. Once you've built a strong connection with your characters, that's gonna be there. You don't have to put this extra layer of, oh, you'll be removed from the group. It's kind of that thing where DMs want their game to be tough, so they add in all these hardcore rules, not really thinking about whether hardcore is fun, just rather hardcore is hardcore. So yeah, to me, I'm not a fan of this type of rule, but I understand why people do it. I just don't think you need to do it to get what you want out of it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, you can click the subscribe button, as I'm releasing Roll for Reddit videos every Monday. I also release DM tip videos on Thursdays, so that's another thing you can watch if you're interested in that as well. And thank you so much. This is the end of the video.